Feels so different riding this thing than the CTX 700. It's like I'm perched on top of something. I think the first thing you notice is the lack of wind protection on that thing, and then when you get on this thing, it's really kind of interesting going from bike to bike and getting the feel for them. I mean, the Honda Ascot that I have feels unlike any other bike I've ever ridden, and I've had many bikes, but it's just the weird position of it. It's like you're sitting on top of something. And usually there's, what I tell people, for standard bikes like this, it's either you sit inside the bike or on top of the bike. And my V-Strom, you sat inside the bike. This one, you feel like you're on top of the bike. The large size is intimidating for people, and I think that's why people that get the Honda CTX as opposed to this are better off. I mean, that's a good beginner bike. This is not a good beginner bike. This is a big bike, and you have to be at least average size to really ride it. Or you can ride it if you're shorter, but I'm 5'9", and I can't flat foot it, but I don't find myself that I'm like going off balance, and I have it in the highest position, so there is another position that you can put it, and it's like lower to the ground. But I like to be high up on top because I kind of feel like I can look at things a lot easier, look over cars. You go over these overpasses, you can actually see the road, but on small bikes you can't. This is the advantage of the adventure bike, especially the open class adventure bike like this, is that you go through rear tires like crazy. Something I don't miss from riding my ST1300, ST1100, FJR 1300 is the constant tire changes you have to do. This guy's got his right turn blinker forever. Okay, what are you doing? I hate these people. Also, this bike is an inline too, but it doesn't sound anything like the CTX. The CTX feels very much like a V-twin. It's kind of like thumping a little bit without any vibration in the handlebars. Look at this douchebag on the left. I saw that he was desperate to pass me. That's a douchebag car, that Camaro. The guy is going to get on the left lane again. Watch. There we go. He's so desperate. It's like, why are you so desperate, buddy? You're not going to get anywhere any faster. This is something that I'm seeing a lot. It's like cars, like there's a car on the right side going way too fast. It's a Nissan Sentra, so look. And there's just kind of like playing chicken. That Sentra is just like, it's going to cut everybody off. It's as if like everybody's just trying to race each other, but they're not really. They're kind of playing Grand Theft Auto for some reason. And I'm seeing a lot more accidents. You really have to watch your six when you're around here. It also, one of the things that leads to this sort of stuff is people taking up space on the left lane. I'm looking up ahead. That Camaro is switching to the left lane like 4 times. And look at that Nissan Sentra behind that one guy. Now he's going to go to the left lane. It's kind of interesting seeing these imbeciles ride. See, this is the problem. Like when people take up the left lane, and you don't need to take up the left lane. You just move to the right lane. In case you guys didn't know, the PG side of the Beltway, that's the most ghetto. And that's the one where, oh, look at this. Fancy boy. Bike life. Live your dream, buddy. Live your dream. Look at him. I hate that look with the, like the t-shirt. Look at that, he's kind of racing or something. He's racing that one guy. And now it's that Camaro. It's always like this. It's always like 2 guys who want to like measure their penises. So homoerotic. You know, I wish I could take some of these bikers aside and go like, hey buddy, let's go for a ride. And I've tried that before, and they always have a different mentality for riding. They want to go like to Georgetown, they want to go to like DC to like a front of a bar and hang out. And I'm like, no, let's do like 250, 300 miles. I'll show you some twisty roads where you can really open it up. And I've taken some of them, and they're like, ugh, not for me, man, this is weird. I gotta get back to U Street to a bar to get some wings or something. I never understood that. I rode with it like in a group of riders, and they wanted to like go ride to get chicken wings. I was like, what the fuck? Who the? I don't understand that whole chicken wing eating, and it's so disgusting because they eat the chicken, and then there's like a little bit of like just meat on the chicken wing, and then you put it in a bucket, and it's so disgusting. And they're like eating. They just have like garbage all over their face. Oh, I see the motorcycles leaving on Branch Avenue, Silver Hill. Yep, typical douchebag territory. This guy, this Ford Expedition, taking off that left lane. It's just like, what the hell are you doing, man? Get off the left lane. What the hell? I'm on my reserve again. This is the thing I don't like about this bike. It's just small gas tank. The reserve just comes on at like 180. I'll check in a minute. Jesus. Also, another thing they should have done for this bike 2012 is got the buttons for the computer up here instead of over there. You know, it's kind of funny. There's like these little twisties right here. Man, this bike sounds good when it's like hitting it. This is Oxon Hill Farm, and there's a cop over there. I'm glad I slowed down. It really is one of these places that if they had a metro, it would be so much more expensive. But I think eventually it is going to come here. Yeah, Oxon Hill, definitely one of these places that it's got it all, and nobody seems to know about it because everybody kind of like assumes it's ghetto. But it's gotten very expensive, and I think the smart investors are coming here and buying up property. Right now it's underdeveloped, but there's a lot of development coming north of Oxon Hill Road. But what I like about it is that geographically it's very pretty. You're like sitting on top of a large hill. A lot of people that live here have views of the Potomac. Normally, you could actually, at a certain point, you could get a river view at a dock for about $1 million, you know, which is unheard of for anywhere on the other side of the river. There was a house that sold recently up ahead. It was like 900 something thousand, and it had its own dock, and it was a fairly large house, not too crazy, but it was beautiful. It was really nice. Can you imagine like being right near the Potomac, and it was still a little bit above the level of the water, so it wouldn't get flooded. Right up here, this part of Oxon Hill just doesn't get flooded because it's so much higher up. But if you go, I think further south into southern Maryland, then you get a lot of the flooding issues that are common in this area. But if you look to the right, I'll see if I can show you. I think even from here you can see the river, and it's a pretty darn good view. You can see the river and Washington D.C., the National Monument, and there's the National Harbor and the wheel. You can see it from here, and there we go. There's the river. You can see it briefly because there's so many trees, but on this road to the right, which is Panorama, that's a really good view. Look at that. And you can see the Woodrow Wilson Bridge, which is a fantastically engineered bridge. But there's a weird thing about this area. So inside here, where there's this fence, that's where the rich people live. And on the left, where I live, that's where the poor people live. And I kind of wish they'd put like a little gate so we can like walk inside the National Harbor, but you know how these guys are. Alright, squids, thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video. Kind of stuck here. The cops won't bother me.